Hello and welcome to a Legendary Sliders video. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that we play Legendary 6-minute halves with sliders, and we ran into some difficulty last season. They were on point. But since then, there has been another patch, 1.08 has been released, and that sort of tended to, mess with the slider setup just a little bit. I felt it was a little bit too easy, so I've gone back to the drawing board. I've looked across a number of websites to see where they're at with their slider setups. I've tuned them a little bit towards how I feel the gameplay should be for 6-minute halves. A lot of these slider setups you will see for longer and slower gameplays, especially Operation Sports, which is always your #1 stop when you are looking for sliders. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you the sliders that I will be using moving forward. They will be in the description of every single video, and they will be in the description of this video if you're just looking for a quick link just to try out some legendary sliders as the screen goes off. But let's just jump into it. I'll run through my slider setup, and these will be the sliders that we will be using moving forward. Hopefully you guys have a crack at them, give me some feedback, and let me know if there are any adjustments you feel need to be made. So let's just jump in. We'll grab into the game settings. Of course, we play 6-minute halves here on this channel on Legendary with normal game speed. My camera, if you're interested in that, is our tele broadcast on custom with 17 height and 3 zoom. A little bit different to a lot of players. Alright, let's just jump across to the sliders. Alright, so starting with the user gameplay customization. Since the last slider setup, we've dropped the sprint speed back to 49, so taking one off there off the standard. Acceleration is at 50, the shot error at 50, and the pass error I have put up to 57 now. Sometimes you'll find once you get a really decent team, your passing can be a little bit too clinical. So I've gone with 57, that seems quite balanced. Shot speed is at 50, and the pass speed down to 49, just with the slower helps out with the lower the 6-minute halves. That's just how I feel anyway. Injury frequency is at 60 and the severity down at 5. We know that from Operation Sports there is some crazy injury stuff going on, so that feels quite balanced. We haven't changed that since the last setup. Goalkeeper ability is at 50. The positional marking for the user is at 53. Now that's a bump up of 3. I was at 50 before, but that feels a little bit more balanced. Closing down the attackers a bit more, but also pushing them forward a little bit every now and then, and that opens up some space for the CPU to get some shots away. Run frequency I've got at 20, which we haven't changed since our last setup. The line height is at 55. The line length I've reduced to 42. That was a little bit higher. I think it was at about 45. And the width we did have at 60. We've moved that back in line with the Operation Sports sliders to 50. That is probably the biggest change in the last patch. The midfield feels a little bit more open, so we had to close that back off. Fullback positioning is at 50, power bar at 50, and the first touch control error I've dropped from 65 to 50 at this stage. Just with the extra pass error, I felt the first touch was probably a little bit more, needs to be a little bit more clinical because you've got a lot less time on the ball. Let's move across to the CPU. So the sprint speed for them is at 50, so it's a 1-point variant, and their acceleration is at 51, another 1-point variant. So they do close you down quite quickly. You need to be absolutely on your game. Their shot error is down to 47, so they've got a 3-point variant. So if they're in the box, generally they're putting it in the back of the net. You need to be absolutely on point. Their pass error is at 55 compared to our 57. Shot speed at 50, pass speed at 49, which is equal. Injury frequency and severity are the same. The goalkeeper ability is also at 50. Marking is at 55. That's 2 points higher, so they will close you down. But if you've got some real nice pacey wingers, you might be able to slip around the back if you're lucky. Run frequency has got a 2-point discrepancy. They are at 22. Now, you're probably thinking that those are quite low, but I can tell you right now, they do push forward. They do make crushing runs, and you will feel under the pump. Line height 55, line length 42, and the line width 50, exactly the same as the user. Fullback is at 50, the same. First touch control error is at 50. So those are the sliders that I am using moving forward now since patch 1.08. If you guys do have a crack at these, make sure it is 6-minute halves, because more game time, more minutes means more variation in the gameplay. So if you do have a crack, do let me know in the comments. Contact me on Twitter if you need to, at SparringDK. But I'm happy. I think this is a good challenge moving forward, and And in the next few episodes, we'll really see these sliders come into play. But that's all I needed to cover for you guys today, just to give you an update on what is happening on the channel. And if you are out and about looking for a new slider setup, give these a go, let me know, and we will see you in another video. I'm Sparring DK, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you have a good one.